podcast. My name is Richard Moore. I'm your host and informant for everything church, theology, and faith related. CHURCHepreneurs' vision is to accelerate the church in mission, vision, and effectiveness in fulfilling the Great Commission. CHURCHepreneurs hopes to embolden people to fulfill the Great Commission beyond their own borders into the rest of the world in this generation. In this podcast, I talk about everything that's moving me in relation to church and theology, hopefully to empower you in your ministry, church, Bible study, theological understanding, and personal growth in Christ.
So, welcome to CHURCHepreneurs. I wanted to do something a little bit different today. I wanted to get out on the streets instead of staying in the studio today. I wanted to get out on the streets, show you, first of all, show you around our little town. We're missionaries here in Germany, and so we're gonna do this. We're gonna get up out on the streets and see what's going on out in our neighborhood. So this is a great practice for you guys in the church and ministry, and it's a great opportunity to get to know your neighborhood, first of all, and figure out how to reach your neighborhood. It's called cultural exegesis. So here we go. We're going to have a look around our neighborhood. This is our neighborhood, right outside our doors. And cultural exegesis is something you ought to do pretty consistently. It's an opportunity to get to know your neighbors, get to know your neighborhood, and learn how to reach it. So in cultural exegesis, you just kind of, you learn the who, what, where, when, and why of your neighborhood. So right across the street from us is our school, our grade school. And we get to know it just by being across the street from it. But you gotta also sort of take yourself out of your own context for a little bit, get to know your neighborhood. So this is our little neighborhood. We got a little playground right across the street from us. We personally live pretty close, so we get to walk here all the time, get to know our neighbors, just sit outside and enjoy the neighborhood. So the who, young couples come to this neighborhood, come to this playground, and just get to know them, you know. So that's the who. A lot of young families come over here to this section over here. Then we got the old state church here, right across the street. So it's really valuable to get out and get to know your neighborhood, do some cultural exegesis. So that's what we're doing this morning. Take a little fresh walk. It's also really great as you're doing your cultural exegesis to pray. Pray for your neighborhood, pray for your community, pray for your city, pray for your town, pray for your leaders. Whenever I go, so this morning, we got to go to the bakery. That's important. You can't have relationships without going to the bakery, and especially in Germany. So we go to the bakery, and that's where we have lots of connection with people. We're thinking about how to invite our baker just over to dinner. They're so friendly, they're so kind. They always give us a little extra here on the side, extra here there on the side. Always give us lollipops for our kids. So we're just trying to think about how to incorporate that into everyday life, invite them over. So let's see. So there's this Grundschule behind us, the grade school, and part of living in a culture as a missionary is getting to know your community and speaking the language. So we're missionaries in Germany. We speak the language. We wanted to learn from the beginning the language. A little easier for me. My wife's German. I have family around me that's German, so I can learn the language. It's easier for me in that. But wherever you're at, learn the language. There's a certain exact language wherever you're located. If you're from the South, there's going to be a certain language. If you're from the South in America, right? The South, the North in America, learn the language. Get with the people. Know their backgrounds. Know their language. That's the who, right? So the what. What do people do in particular cultural contexts? What are they trying to do for their jobs? What do people do in typical life? So learn the what. So when you look around, you walk around, you got to see. So over here, if you can look in the background, if I can focus that in and see the white balance, there's a brick factory over there. So that's in our neighborhood. We know that. Down here, down in this area, there's woodworkers. So know what people do. Know what they do for a living. Know what they're up to daily. That's super important. Find out those things. Get to know people. Walk through cities. Walk through towns. In Germany, it's a little easier. People do that typically. They go to the bakery, they get out, they learn their communities. So this is, that's part of life here in Germany. So it's a little easier in Germany, but man, take walks in your neighborhood. In America, I know it's not so easy. You don't do it quite as often, but get out on your neighborhoods, get out, get to know your neighbors. Part of being a missionary, being a person on mission in your own neighborhoods and in your own communities is doing what Jesus did. As the Father has sent me, so send I you, Jesus said. Jesus, he himself, he took on flesh and dwelt among us. So a huge part of just life as a Christian in this world is contextualization. Contextualize yourself, put yourself in the life and in the everyday of the everyday person. Get to know the people who are around you. Get to know your neighbors. Knock on their door, give them brownies. When you move into a local area, you move in and do that. Move in. And dwell among people. Do your own housewarming party, right? Move in. We did that with our mission now. We just moved into a building and we had our own housewarming party. We had our own open door and we had invited all the neighbors, and that was really cool, man. We actually had a great time inviting all our neighbors. So here we go. So we're gonna go into the bakery and get us something to eat. Situation now, you gotta put a mask on, so gotta do that. Morgen, ich hätte gern 2 Laugen Croissants, wie normal, wie üblich. Und, wie geht's euch?
Alles gut bei dir.
Ja, prima. Ja.
3,60 €
2 und... Das stimmt.
Dankeschön.
Sehr gern.
Schönen Tag.
Gleichfalls, ne? Ciao. All right, so that was our local bakery. Got us some nice croissants. You gotta get a croissant, man. And they have this super awesome, yummy type of croissant. Not your normal French croissant, it's your German croissant. It has this Laugen dough in it. Anyways, so when you walk, gotta look around, see what's cool in your towns, see what people do, see what people are up to. So over here we've got our electro Schlegel, our electric shop. Across the street, your housewares, and then guest house. So as a missionary, you gotta just see what people are doing, see what your city's about, right? Be with the people. Now in this Corona time, problem here in Germany is a lot of the fests that they have are canceled, and that's a shame, because that's a lot of times where you really connect with people. And so now I'm in the Blumenplatz, the major section of our city that kind of is like meeting point. One time last year in the hot part of the summer, they had actually set out, if you can see over here on this other side of the Blumenplatz, they had set out some sand just in that whole area over there. It was really cool, and just had like a beachfront type thing, and that was really cool. So that's sometimes an opportunity. That was just an opportunity. We just came out in the afternoons and just hung out with people who were just hanging out. You know, I had sand out for the kids, like a big huge sandbox. Basically this whole area was full of sand. That was about a year ago. So those are opportunities you can take. Know what your community's doing, know what your community's up to. Go do stuff, go hang out. We just came down here and hang out in the afternoon whenever we got from work or whatever we're doing, just come out and hang out. Had shade and stuff because it was super hot. So we had those opportunities just to get to know neighbors, to be around people. That's just what you need to do to be a churchpreneur, to get to know people, to reach your communities. You got to be where people are at. You got to be where people are doing. So the who, that's part of the who, getting to know the who. And I didn't really do that on purpose, but that's a nice pun. Who are you? Who? Yeah. Anyways, so get to know the who. These are the people that we're trying to reach. What they do, you get to know what they do, where they do it. This is where life happens. In Kandern, in our town, this is where life happens right here. So you got to be where people are at. What are they doing? What is the life like? What do people do for a living? Get to know those things. Then we'll look a little bit more at the where. Let's keep going. Yeah, as we go, it's just awesome to just pray sometimes, to just pray for your community, pray for your leaders, pray that Jesus would be magnified, lifted up, that he would be glorified in this area. This is our little river here. It's always beautiful, and then we can walk over our covered bridge. It's not unbeautiful, it's definitely beautiful. So, yeah, you can hear the river. This is literally our covered bridge. So it's really beautiful. That's City Hall up there. Spent a lot of time up there. Just actually, the lady I went to last time, she's like, "Yeah, you've been here enough. I know who you are." And so it's just good to just be friendly and kind with people in your neighborhood. This is an old historic home over here. So know the what, man. Know the history of your town. Know the history of the places you're at. There was an artist who lived here. And we can just walk, when you walk by stuff, be curious. Be curious about people and things. And so an artist lived in that house there. So this is the direction I go sometimes, just on a walk with the fam. We meet a lot of people on this little path. Walk on paths, go places, meet people, introduce yourselves, say hi, be kind and friendly. That'll go a long way. And just get an opportunity to be a Christian in your context. So here we go. Here's the river. The river's not Like I said, not unbeautiful. It's very nice. And there's a little path up there. There's a playground up on this side a little further, by maybe about half a kilometer or so. But yeah, do stuff in your community. Get out. Don't just sit at your computer, man. Go on a prayer walk. Take a break. Go places where people are at. So that's cultural exegesis. Look around. Ask questions, right, of your own community. Maybe you've been in your community for years and don't even really kind of have eyes on the ground level. It's just good to just take a different pair of glasses and kind of look around at your community with different eyes. Try to look at it with eyes of compassion too. That's one thing we often don't do. We'll as Christians, we kind of just go through our day and just we have the same set of eyes. We got to sort of sometimes take our regular everyday glasses off and put on different pair of glasses of compassion, glasses of what's going on really here. Look around, observe stuff, be observant and curious. One thing that I've noticed in church ministry and with pastors especially is that they're by and large not very curious about people, about other things, about new things. Ask questions. Don't dog people and badger them, but try to be curious about people's lives. People want to talk about themselves. They don't not want to talk about themselves. So ask questions of people. Get in their worlds. Put yourself in their shoes. Whatever the case may be. Ask people if you can visit them at their workplace. Hey, I just want to come and visit for a few minutes. Do you have time today? Don't dog them, right? If they're busy, but go to their workplaces. See where their lives are, what their lives entail. Put yourselves on their level. Pastor, that goes, especially for you. Sometimes we, as pastors, we kind of get that mentality that we're holier than thou, we're above everything. And I was guilty of it in pastoral ministry when I was a youth pastor and church planner. Hey, look, I'm the superstar. We're come to save the world, but we're not that, man. Humble yourself. Put yourself in the lives of people. Go to their places. See their families. Ask them questions about where they're at in their lives and what they're doing. And looks like now kids are starting to, funny, I just want to kind of track that. Kids are starting to come to school now. It's in the morning, so that's what's happening. Kids are starting to walk towards school, and that's what's happening in our little town. So I want to break off and get going now. But just hope that's an encouragement to you to kind of take another look at your surroundings, your community. Take a walk this morning. And maybe with Listen to Churchpreneurs, it can encourage you to take a walk. So here's the kindergarten. I don't know if you can see it through there. Maybe I can actually get through there and go have a look at the kindergarten. That's where Caleb used to go. They built a new kindergarten. So know those things. Know those things about your community. Know that they built new kindergartens. Know what they're doing in your community. Be engaged. Be loving. Be kind. And when you take your kids to kindergarten, if you're doing that, here's a nice brand new kindergarten. You can kind of see that. Brand new facility. So I can walk up this way actually. There's a nice neighborhood back here. So this was Caleb didn't go to this kindergarten, but they built it brand new. Know those things about your community. Know what they're doing. Know where the new things are happening. Be with people. Now, if you're in a kindergarten, that's a great place to reach people and touch people's lives. And it's what I was able to do with kindergarten for Caleb for years. Was able to be on the parent committee even. Be on those committees. Be on the parent committees. do those things where you can have touch with people. Now we're walking behind a neighborhood. It's interesting to ask the question of who lives here? What kind of people are living here? Don't profile them, but say, what are their interests? What makes them tick? How could I have an inroad with any of these folks? And where's the entrance point that I could possibly have with them? This is a brand new community here. If you look, they just built all this. It's been, I think, a couple of years in the making. Yeah, the kindergarten is right back there, so that's one reason probably they're building right here. But yeah, brand new community, very modern houses. I'm guessing new young families are moving in. Not exactly sure, but ask those questions, right? See where people are at. Oh, and then, sorry. So for us, this is the Catholic church and the graveyard right there. I think you can probably see that. So ask those questions. These are the areas. And then Caleb and I used to walk up here all the time to kindergarten, and he would always be real sad about the graffiti. So see those things, right? There's graffiti on this wall that's and he would always say, it's not going to come off, is it, Dad? It can't come off. And so see those things. Have eyes down on the street level for where you live. Yeah, before you move on to the next phase of life, right? Ask the question, why? Why is it important? Why do I need to reach people? The why should be somewhat obvious, but sometimes it's not. The why is because God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have eternal life. That's the why. God would that no one perish, but that all turn to a knowledge of Christ. God would that everyone, and God loves the world. And so that's why, right? So we take these times, go on these walks and go around because God so loved. Here they built another high-rise building, multi-family dwelling. So these are the reasons. Hope this has been a insightful thing for you guys, churchpreneurs, pastors. The way we can touch neighbors and reach neighbors is sometimes just to get up, get out, go have a look, go see our neighbors, go see our neighborhoods, get out there, say hello to people, be kind to people, be gracious, be out there in the world. And you never know what can happen. You never know you'll learn. First of all, you will learn something. I can remember when we did a cultural exegesis for a church, and I learned a ton about this community. Now, when I go and preach there, I have a better understanding of the people who live there, not just the people in their community, but the people in the church as well. The folks who are in the church are the typical village dwellers like the rest of the people who live in that village. So you'll have a better understanding, Pastor. Take a walk. Take a walk at least once a week. Pray around your community. Pray for opportunities. You'll meet people on the street, I promise you. You'll have opportunities to touch your schools, to touch your communities, to touch your community centers, to go into the city hall. Do those things, and you'll have opportunity. But mostly you'll be able to understand the culture in which you're located. Understanding is huge to reaching people. for the gospel of Christ. Anyways, that was a special episode of Churchpreneurs. Hope it encouraged, and get out there, hit the streets, get to know people. Don't just sit in your office. Don't be stuck to your computer. Be with people. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations. And you have to go. Get out there, get on the way, get doing it, get to the work of preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ, and do that first by understanding your community, being out there, being active, and doing it. Hope this is encouraging. God bless y'all. Take care. Until next time.
Thanks for listening to Churchpreneurs Podcast. You can find out more information at my website at richardpmoore.net. I also blog at richardpmoore.blogspot.com. You're welcome to follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is at richardpmoore23. You can also email us at churchpreneurs@gmail.com. That's CHURCHEPRENEURS @gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. If you have any ideas for a podcast or any comments or questions, please reach out on one of those platforms. God bless you. Until next time, take care.